Listen, boys. I've got some very bad news, I'm going to have to close down the bar. Well, the Russians are buying up buildings all over the town, including this one. Fuck! Ass!
Say, shit, if this gonna be that kind of party, I'm gonna stick my dick in the mashed potato.
What's up, guys? We're on DV Radio 1 now. Don't adjust your dials. It's Lunchbox. This is the first show of The Bar, formerly known as Dogs of War Radio. We changed our name when we hopped over to DV Radio. Yeah, how does it sound in the chat room? Everything sound good? Ron, give me a little... Ron and Black Wolf, give me some feedback. Turn up your end a bit, Lunchbox. All right. Shit, I am turned up, man. About as high as it goes here. All right. So, let me just adjust my mic and my headset here. All right. So, tonight, it's just me and Mini-Me, and then we have a couple of guests. Get to them here in just a second. Don't know what happened to Brohammer or Red. I'm sure they'll be joining us here eventually. But, yeah, we're just really happy to be here on DV Radio on your standard Tuesday night time slot that we've held for ever since the inception of the show. So, yeah, let me get right into our guests for tonight. We have two guys from Military Experience in the Arts. One was on either the first or second show of Dogs of War Radio. Served with them, David Irvin. I got his bio here. I'm going to read his bio right off the Military Experience in the Arts webpage, which, if you guys want to know where that's at www.militaryexperience.org. Go check them out. They also have a Facebook page. You could just search for Military Experience in the Arts on Facebook. But David Irvin is a former sergeant in the U.S. Army Infantry and Operation Iraqi Freedom veteran. He graduated from West Virginia University with a BA in history in 2009 after working disabled vets for the West Virginia, if I could read tonight, West Virginia Department of Veterans Assistance. David self-published a memoir about his time in the war, which his book is Leaving the Wire, an Infantryman's Iraq. I've read it. It's a great read. A lot of guys that I served with are in there. It's really powerful stuff. He's also written and edited for Blue Nostalgia. It's a journal of post-traumatic growth, and another book called As You Were, the Military Review. Now, we're also joined by Sean Tyler. He's a prior service U.S. Army Sergeant in the infantry, as well as a captain in the Medical Service Corps with a BS in Exercise Science from the University of Tampa. Sean served during one combat deployment with the first, with 1-9, and in the second, second ID from October 2006 to December 2007. Following medical retirement in 2013, Sean had a short stint in the sales industry. But felt his talents and passion would be used elsewhere. In this redirection, Sean chose to focus attention on his fellow veterans working for and volunteering with multiple veteran-focused nonprofit organizations, including Military Experience in the Arts. In his free time, Sean writes poetry, short fiction, performs slam poetry, and is learning to play the guitar. And Sean will be talking about his experience tonight um, with stuff that him and David have done. And he's going to give us some slam poetry tonight too, which I'm really excited about. And with that shitty introduction that I just gave to both to both of these guys, um, what's up, guys?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, not much, man. Glad to be here, dude.
So, David, you're on like the first or second show that I've ever did, and I don't know if I've got any better. I don't think I have, but
Yeah, I was on the first show, which went. It went. We'll give it that.
right. That was a show that that made a piston, correct?
Yeah, that would be correct.
Oh my god.
It was interesting, yeah.
That whole
It
show was
devolved
interesting.
quickly.
Yeah. So since that time, what have you been up to?
Lots of MEA and lots of writing and yeah, lot back injury for the past several months, but since then MEA is. Well, let's see what month was that we did that show?
That was May.
May. Yeah.
May-
Since then, we've
May
done
19th.
Military Experience in the Arts had a symposium in Lawton, Oklahoma. Brought together like 250 people. We offered 70 different workshops in everything from like short fiction writing to self-publishing to poetry workshops to watercolor. Had a Native American gentleman there teaching people how to build flutes, how to like river cane, like nightly performances. We published a volume of As You Were. I believe that was volume 2, and then we published volume 2 of Blue Nostalgia, a journal of post-traumatic growth, and then. Just recently in November 11th, we published As You Were Military Review Volume 3, which is all on our website. We got a redesigned website, and yeah, we've been busy for sure.
Nice. And
Yeah.
Tyler, what have you been up? I saw like on Facebook you've been going around, been flying around a little bit.
Yeah, no, see, I moved back to this area at the beginning of, really about this time last year. I'd been down in the DC area. The first year I got out of the Army, I was in pharmaceutical sales, and, it just wasn't really my cup of tea, kind of dealing with some other, personal shit that I really needed to get taken care of. So I moved back home, started taking, trying to, I guess, deal with, a lot of like, I had, some pain issues. I've had my hip replaced anyway. So, on top of that stuff, just really kind of, refocusing my life, into a, I don't know, more appropriate setting, I guess you will. Not so much big corporate America type stuff like I initially thought that I was going to do when I got out. So, just, I guess, getting more involved in different veteran related stuff, everything from writing with MEA, being the, I guess the secretary, right, David? Is that my official title?
Yeah, you're pretty much our executive officer, though.
Okay.
It says secretary in the bylaws, but you're our XO.
But yeah, so, doing that, I guess, sometimes you just gotta go back home to get things, settled and figured out, and this is where I belong. So, long story short, yeah, last year's been a little hectic, but it's been really good. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and like I was saying in the pre-show, I mean, me and you are from the same area, and there is a lot like around area that I mean to do. I mean, veteran-wise, and it seems to be at least getting bigger from what I've seen. We both have a mutual friend down down in Lander, down in Liberty's Way there. So
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a as I was stumbling over what the hell I was trying to say, but yeah, they're trying to do some really good stuff down there as far as a veterans homeless shelter, and you've seen it. It's got some work to be done, but it's an old elementary school which has the capacity to once it's all set up and running functionally, it's got the capacity to hold a lot of people. And one thing I like about it is its location, relatively close to Erie, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Cleveland, So the location I think is pretty good. It just needs a lot of work to be done to get it operational.
Right, and I mean the potential of just the whole building. I mean, for everybody that's listening right now, I mean, take basically your standard elementary school in a small town that had been abandoned. I mean, they shut it down probably for budget reasons, and it just sat there. Well, this guy, his name's Freeman, been working with homeless vets for at least 30 years, I think is what I was told. Maybe even more. And he saw that school that was empty, been sitting there. I mean, more or less as an eyesore to the community, and turned it into, is in the process of turning it into a homeless shelter for veterans that would probably service like the whole northeast and southwestern portion. Well, northeast Pennsylvania, southwestern portion of New York. So, I mean, the potential there for such is freaking awesome. But I think we're getting off topic, but that's okay. That's just what we do. Anyways, so what else is going on with the MEA? I mean, what's coming down the road for you, David?
Coming down the road is honestly kind of focusing on our core mission, which is getting veterans published. The symposium was a pretty big event. It was very expensive, and we're still dealing with paperwork issues from that. And so November we got I want to say close to 20 veterans published in As You Were. And at the same time, we got our website redesigned. So now we're back to taking submissions. And the way our model works is veteran submits a story through our submissions page, right? And managing editor takes a look at that piece and either takes it him or herself or assigns it to one of the associate editors. And we kind of go through revisions, and in that process, a veteran can kind of learn the ropes of writing. I didn't know how to write fiction. Arguably, I kind of still don't. But I submitted a fiction story to MEA back before I was before I even thought about running the show. And the managing editor, Daniel Buckman, basically taught me how to write fiction from scratch. And we're doing that kind of across the board with poetry and nonfiction and everything. Our managing editor for nonfiction, for example, Brian Mockenhop, and he's a pretty successful freelance writer. Got years of experience and a book under his belt. Our fiction editor, Dan Buckman's got 4 novels published. And poetry editor, Charlie Sherpa, he just published a poetry collection called Welcome to Fob Haiku. So veterans are getting to work one-on-one with these folks. And it might not seem like a lot from an outside perspective, but that's it's a lot of work every 6 months to get those volumes out. And it's kind of invisible what's going on right now, but right now there's probably 15 to 20 veterans right now going through the revision process to get ready for the May issue, and there's more coming in every day. So that, and another program we're looking to do, time frame will be right around this time next year is a program called Dialogues of War, wherein we're pairing up some people that have written works like mine, Leaving the Wire, pairing them up with people that have written like historical analyses of, say, the Iraq War, and kind of examining the relationship between, okay, here's one veteran story, and here's a historical interpretation of like a lot of veteran stories, but here's how this one actually matters. My book actually got cited in General Daniel Bulger's work, Why We Lost. And so we're going to examine kind of like, okay, what did he glean from my work that was that helped him write his message, like helped him analyze 2005 in Iraq within that broader work. So that'll be in Lawton, Oklahoma as well. And probably in the next 2 years, we'll be having another symposium. We'll have to find a college that's willing to let us crash their campus for a few days and get together some money for that too.
You're gonna come north, right?
We're gonna take we're gonna go wherever will take us, actually, because it's like Cameron University down in Lawton, which is outside of Fort Sill. I mean, they gave us their entire campus. Like 3 buildings on the campus were basically ours for the entire 4 days that we did the symposium. We had like their student union building, which had big ballroom where we had all of our meals, and then we had access to the theater. So we had like Exit 12 Dance Company come out. Exit 12 is like a ballet dance company, except it's run by a Marine. So
oh god,
it's pretty interesting stuff though.
Holy shit!
It's not the kind of it's not the Nutcracker. It's he's delving into some things like the Iraq War, for instance, and like going to war and coming home from war. It's different. I mean, I was surprised. I took it with a grain of salt because I'm like, well, it's ballet. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this or not, but it was powerful stuff. Check out their website. You can see they're not doing what one would traditionally think of as ballet. It's much more military oriented. It's interesting stuff for sure. But yeah, so maybe in a couple years, we might be up north. We might be like I said, wherever it'll take us. It's pretty taxing on a university staff to do something like that. We did it right after the spring semester and right before the start of summer classes, so it was kind of wedged in there in between. But that probably took 6 to 8 months in the planning of it. It was it looked like chaos to me behind the scenes, but everybody that participated said that it went like really well, and everybody learned a lot. So yeah, we'll see about doing it in a couple of years for sure.
Cool. Yeah, we actually have a guy in chat, DV Ron C. He goes to school at that university.
Cameron?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I was walking from the hotel to the campus one day, and the artillery range was live that day. Like hearing howitzers going off as I'm walking, it was interesting for sure.
Right.
Yeah, it brought back some memories for sure.
What?
Yeah,
I got a question. Oh, go ahead.
Up? No.
I was wondering, just for anybody who's listening, where did military experience in art come from? I mean, who started it? Was it an epiphany? Was it a collective thing? How long has it been going on?
Back in 2012, our founder, a guy by the name of Travis Martin, was teaching a class in Eastern Kentucky University. It was like a creative writing class, and he had a lot of veterans in the classroom, so he kind of decided to model his class on, if we're going to be writing something, let's get it published. So the goal of the class was to publish like an anthology. They got the Journal of Military Experience out of it. They brought on Brian Mockenhop, who was the freelance writer I was telling you about earlier. And they had him help with the editing and stuff. Teamed up with Eastern Kentucky University and got that thing printed up. From there, it grew. He had they did a symposium down there in Kentucky that summer, and the following year he applied for 501c3 status, and we're based like entirely on the web now, but that's how it started, in a college classroom with a bunch of vets who had some pretty powerful stories.
Awesome.
Yeah,
You guys,
yeah, he was 88 Mike. He did tours in Iraq, and it's like an English major. He's doing a dissertation right now on veteran identity, which is pretty fascinating stuff. I got to read like the draft of the introduction, but it's grown from there. We're hopefully going to branch out into things like filmmaking and theater, actually, because with the changing technology and the fact that people can record videos on their cell phones, things like theater and filmmaking are gonna, they're gonna take off pretty soon. Everybody can watch videos on their phone, so there's some pretty good like short animation films on YouTube produced by veterans. One of them's called like Sandstorm or something, but it's kind of gonna keep up with the times and with technology.
now you guys, are you guys all volunteer? Do you have anybody paid? Do you get like funding, or do you take donations or anything like that?
We're all volunteer actually, and
Okay.
yeah, for the most part, we're funded by like individual donations. Like for this symposium, we cobbled together a lot of grants from like DAV, VVA, Northrop Grumman, a few others, but like our yearly operating costs are pretty tiny, so we don't need a whole lot to keep it going, which is good. It keeps things pure, because when you start offering paid positions, for instance, like associate editors, you get people that just want a job and don't want to actually do it because it's teaching a veteran a skill that they can use and achieve some personal growth. It's been a successful model so far, although tax time is coming up, and we'll see how much we have to like pay an accountant. But yeah, it's worked so far.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. And if you need
Right,
help,
yeah,
let us know.
Yeah, and we don't have any bad press of like, hey, that president guy is like living in a mansion from all your all's donations. We can tell people to donate, hey, like 100% of your donation is going to go directly towards programs to help veterans. Like like our website fee and the submissions platform we use, and little things like PO box rental. I mean, it's a pretty small operating budget, but it's still something. So we put those donations to good use. Well, like for the symposium, for example, nobody had to pay for a meal. It was either donated by local restaurants or we paid for it. So they had to pay for lodging, but we negotiated a pretty good rate with a local hotel. So yeah, we're trying to get some bang for our buck, I guess you could say. Yeah, and altruism is a good thing. It's not, I don't know, kind of in short supply these days. But yeah,
I got you.
yeah, and we also do like think pieces on our website. they're kind of outside of the they're outside of the journals, like As You Were and Blue Nostalgia. But our director of outreach, for instance, wrote like 1,000-word article titled "What's It Like to Kill Someone." I mean, he really peeled back the layers and put it out there, and that thing spread like wildfire on Facebook. He did another one on like coming home from war. Like, the guy served more than a decade in the infantry. I think he had like 4 deployments, and he kind of wrote about how, you know, first he took care of his soldiers, and then he had to transition, take care of his kids. It was a big transition, and one that he had some difficulty with. But the shorter little things are they're a little more engaging for like a social media audience. You put kind of a cool, interesting picture and an engaging title, and somebody's gonna click it when, you know, they're on the bus on the way to work or whatever. But it's a pretty good way to broach some pretty serious topics and start some discussion, like the comment section on our social media outlets. When we post something like that, you see people talking about things that, you know, like with the "What's It Like to Kill Someone" article, you see people talking about things in a place that, you know, they're doing so publicly, kind of connecting with strangers, but it's what we do, like, boiled down into those little short articles. So hopefully we're providing education to the public, I guess you could say. There's I've kind of always joked that, like, there's no excuse for any kind of ignorance about anything involving what's it like to be in the military if you visit our site, because it's all there, literally all there.
Gotcha. Oh.
Yeah, we do good things, and Sean gets to do the not so fun stuff, like add numbers, because I'm terrible at numbers. But
well, actually,
it's all right. We all pitch in, and it all gets done. It's great. Like, one guy takes over social media, and one guy takes the numbers. One guy answers emails. Another guy makes sure everybody's getting their submissions and signed to an editor, etc., etc. It works.
Actually, let's switch over to Sean real quick. How did you get involved with David and the MEA and whatnot?
So it's kind of fun. So the guy that he was just referencing, Travis Witalski, I was stationed with him in Colorado Springs at Fort Carson, and then deployed to Ramadi with him. Anyways, maybe, I don't know, at the beginning of the year, I think, you know, I saw something that he had posted and written, anyways, you know, to kind of lay out the story a little bit. So I commented on it because I think it was, you know, what it's like to kill somebody, and I mean, you know, the topic in and of itself, and then just the way that Travis wrote it, I just thought it was phenomenal. Anyways, so I commented. I said, like, dude, that's fucking awesome. Like, you know, you're writing the whole 9 yards. Anyways, so, you know, on Facebook, I don't know, I'd have nights when I couldn't sleep, and I'd just post some kind of random poetry or just random thoughts, if you will, on there. And then one day Travis is like, "Hey, dude, you should write." And I'm like, all right, well, cool. He's like, "Why don't you submit some stuff to us?" So anyways, I ended up doing that, submitted a couple poems to Travis. He was like, he's like, "Hey, you know, this stuff's really good." And you know, honestly, like, I really didn't start doing any sort of, I don't know, I guess, in-depth writing besides, you know, something I had done maybe in college, and certainly in high school I didn't really give a shit. But, you know, and especially in college, though, like, I don't know, I just started to feel that I liked writing. So long story short, after that, you know, kind of, you know, re-engaged a relationship on Facebook with Travis. And then, what was it, in maybe May? Yeah, I think in like May, Travis sent me a message. It was like, hey, do you know anybody that does any bookkeeping or something to that effect? And I'm thinking like, bookkeeping, like really kind of. So I was like, no. Anyways, he explained to me what he was looking for. I'm like, yeah. He told me, he's like, oh well, I was kind of thinking you. And once he explained it, I was like, yeah, dude, hell yeah, I'd love to be involved with this. So I guess maybe about like what, July, I think everything went kind of official.
Yep.
Right, right, David.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of how everybody likes to talk smack about how Facebook's not a good thing sometimes. Whatever. I think it's it all goes down to what you use it for, and this is definitely one of those cases where Facebook has turned out to be an asset and a valuable tool.
Yeah, I mean, it's how we get our work out there. There's no other place that you can reach an audience like that. We have like 100,000 followers. We post a good article and it's like 10, 20,000 people that get to see it and share it and everything else. It works and it's free.
We're gonna have to get you guys a booth at Gruntfest.
What's that?
We're gonna have to get you a booth at Gruntfest next year.
Where's that?
We don't know the details. We had last one was in August 1st up in Illinois, outside Chicago. And it was a grunt style thing along with DV. And some people have been talking about setting up booths for like the first day or second day or whatever of the next Grunt Fest. And that would be, there was probably 600-700 vets at that event.
Oh,
so
wow.
that would be a great opportunity. Because I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there. Like I was talking to David about Mike McDonald, who does a Warriors integration. He was there, but just I know there's other guys that want to do this stuff, kind of want to use it, writing, photography, whatever, as an outlet, and to link those guys up with you would be awesome.
Yeah, and for any of the folks listening, like if you're not comfortable putting your name on something, I mean, by all means, use a pseudonym. It's fine with us. I published a guy that went by the name like Armadillo.
Nice.
It's whatever, but I mean, he got to get his story out there, so like that's what mattered. So yeah, like I don't know.
I go by Sierra Tango.
Yeah, I mean it helps because the stuff that people are writing about sometimes, like I mean, Travis Stosky's like brave. He'll write about anything, and I've written about a lot of things. I'm like, man, I can't believe I wrote about that because writing is like, when you get it published, it's like reading your diary naked in front of your entire school. It's very it's kind of a vulnerable thing, but I think people would be surprised that like there aren't really too many negative reactions. People respect that, going out on a limb and writing about these things that I mean, you're not necessarily going to strike up a conversation with somebody in line at the grocery store about this stuff, but you won't necessarily talk to your family about it either. But you can write it for 20,000 people to read. It's empowering. I mean, yeah. But hey, if they want to use a pseudonym, by all means, go for it.
Can I use Dirk Diggler?
I don't know. I might have to. I mean, I do have to police up some things. We try to be pretty respectable so people take things seriously. But
I got you.
Well, Armadillo. I mean, it was like Jeffrey Armadillo Forker. His story. His nickname that he went by in the military. Everybody's got one of those, man.
Oh yeah. Do you guys work with anybody like, say for instance, they have like a concept of a story or a play they want to write, but they just don't know how to get going with it? I mean, you help guys out with that too, and gals?
Sort of. Like, if you give us a rough draft, we'll help you get it to where it needs to be. I I can't say I've ever been approached by somebody who's like, hey, I have an idea for a story. But like on our website, there's several resources. It'll actually kind of teach guys how to do it. And periodically, we try to hold workshops too. Just like, hey, do you want to craft a story? And you get to learn about, like, I don't know, starting from scratch, basically. I did a workshop for Blue Nostalgia. It's actually how I got started with MEA. And it's like weekly writing prompts. And then at the end of like 4 weeks, you put it all together and you've got a story out of it. Like on our website, if you go to the submissions page, right underneath that, there's a thing that says how to write a story that MEA will publish, and right below that's writing and art resources. They're pretty good rubrics for how to get started, and what I've told anybody too is like, just start writing. I mean, if you have a concept, you're farther ahead than a writer on a bad day, for real. So
that's true. That's
yeah.
Well, hopefully we're getting one of our co-hosts on here soon. And when I asked you that, it was kind of a personal question, but I know some other people would get something out of it. And I told her this concept I had, and she says, just start writing. I'm like, I don't even know how to do that. But yeah, I mean, I guess it really just comes down to just putting it to paper and then having somebody look at it.
Yeah, and you don't have to start from the beginning necessarily either. Like, I did my book. I think I started like 3/4 of the way through the tour because that was like what was on the top of my head at the time. But cool thing about, computers, you can copy and paste that stuff and put it everywhere. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, start from the middle. If there's like, if you're writing a fiction short story and there's a conversation in your head between a couple of characters, just write that conversation and figure out what to do with it like later. Like 90% of writing comes from the revision process anyway. Like, but getting that rough draft down is yeah, you'd be surprised at what you can do with it from there, actually. It's yeah, once you got the raw materials, you can cut it up and reorder it and everything else, but raw material is a really good start.
How many submissions do you guys normally take in a month?
That really depends on the month. A pretty busy month will have like, I don't know, 10. A not so busy month, maybe 3 or 4. We're gonna open up our poetry submissions in the spring. We had like some staffing issues, but poetry comes in like fast and furious because it's a lot shorter. People can submit like 3 at a time. So those tend to go like, I don't know, 10 a month or so. Not a whole lot of people write fiction though, so those are much slower. Yeah, there's a pretty big disparity between the mediums too, but average, I'd say probably about 5 or 6, like a good average across like a year or so.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we don't publish all of them. A lot of times what will happen is you get pretty deep in the revision process and people are like, they change their mind about wanting to put the time into it, or, any number of things that happen, they change their mind or just kind of lose interest in it. But we kind of brag that anybody will put the work in, we'll get them a publishable piece. But at that, I mean, we try to publish as many people as we possibly can. I think our last volume was like close to 200 pages. It was yeah, there was like 5 or 6 stories in each genre actually, and then we had 12 or 13 pieces of art. It was big, but still it gets to represent a pretty broad spectrum of people, so it's good.
Are we gonna get treated to any slam poetry tonight?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. I know we're gonna come up on a break here pretty soon.
Yeah,
probably in about 10 minutes, but
yeah,
we
we're
do
doing.
slide it in now or afterwards.
Yeah, after
It's
the break.
really up to you. I'm ready to go whenever.
I'm excited about this because I tell you what, my only reference to slam poetry was at a coffee house when I was in school, and I was in there for about 30 seconds and kind of walked out like, I don't want to deal with this. So, but coming from a veteran perspective, you know, I mean, the dude was wearing skinny pants and a fucking Jamaican beanie, and he's whiter than me, and I'm Irish, so it just didn't fly with me. But
yeah, no, and it's and this is kind of a new endeavor for me, but it's been a pretty cool process to get involved with this, and really, like I kind of got to give a little credit back to Travis Witalski, because I'd never really written anything, certainly never thought about really getting up on stage and doing it, because everything I've written, and I guess it's kind of why writing's kind of become so important to me, or so I guess the best word for it, is cathartic. Just get some shit out of my head that I've been holding on to for way too long, and some of it's not so serious, but that's the best. The best thing that writing's been for me, as opposed to the way that I used to deal with shit before, is it's good therapy. That's what I get out of it.
absolutely, I mean, you unbottle all that fucking shit. If you don't, it's gonna pop, and who knows what the hell is gonna happen when that happens. And if your heart's in it, and it's gonna be good. I don't doubt it. I'm pumped. I can't wait for this. To be honest with you, no pressure or anything, but
no, it's So I've got a few of them lined up. Not sure if we need to do any sort of disclaimer to differentiate, or however you want to do this, and whenever you want. I've got kind of 3 different ones lined up.
Josh, what do you think? What do we got time to do it before the break, or should we wait till after?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, my mic is going in and out. It's about due to get it. But we'll do it after the break.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go to break. Proby and play, and then after that, we'll.
He's on a merry-go-round.
He is.
Yeah. I'm losing you.
Oh, is it going in and out?
Yeah.
How's it right now?
I can hear you now.
Audible.
Okay. All right. We're going to go to break. We'll have Proby come on after break, plug his show for tomorrow, and then we'll go to poetry.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. I'm going to play a song and fuck with.
Fix your mic.
Thank When I came back from Luang Prabang, I didn't have a thing where my balls used to hang, but I had a wooden medal and a fine harangue. Now I'm a fucking hero. Mourn your dead, land of the free. If you wanna be a hero, follow me. Mourn your dead, land of the free. If you wanna be a hero, follow me. And now the boys all envy me. I fought for Christian democracy with nothing but air where my balls used to be. Now I'm a fucking hero. Mourn your dead, land of the free. If you wanna be a hero, follow me. Mourn your dead, land of the free. If you wanna be a hero, follow me. Like 1 and 20 cannon thunder into the bloody wild blue yonder for a patriotic ballless wonder. Now I'm a fucking hero. Mourn your dead, land of the free. If you wanna be a hero, follow me. Mourn your dead, land of the free. If you wanna be a hero, follow me. In Luang Prabang there is a spot where the corpses of your brothers rot, and every corpse is a patriot. Every corpse is a hero. Mourn your dead, land of the free. If you wanna be a hero, follow me. Mourn your dead, land of the free. If you wanna be a hero, follow me.
And we're back. I'm gonna get. I don't even know if it is. I have a short rate my headset.
Yeah, it's still a little rough sounding.
Yeah. So.
It's like it was cutting in and out a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was David that said, yeah, it sounded like you're on a merry-go-round and the mic was at the bottom.
Yeah. All right. So.
We got everybody?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
Awesome.
I have to pull David back in too. Roby, you here?
Somebody was just added.
It appears as if he is. There he is.
Go ahead, Proby. Plug away. My mic sucks.
Oh, we live on the air?
We are.
We are. Are you live on the air?
How you guys doing?
Good, good.
Good. Hey, well, thanks for letting me on the show. I just wanted to just take a couple of minutes of your time, if you don't mind, and let everybody know that tomorrow, the second half of the Salute Report, we're going to have a guest on. His name is Howard Berry. If you don't know who Howard Berry is, he's the father of Staff Sergeant Joshua Berry, who at the time of the Fort Hood shootings was a sergeant, but was injured during the Fort Hood shootings, protecting some of his fellow soldiers and other civilians that were on Fort Hood at the time of the shooting. For the last couple of years, Mr. Berry has been fighting very, very hard on behalf of his son to get a lot of the VA benefits that he should have had. Unfortunately, after the Fort Hood shooting and everything, his son Joshua suffered from PTSD, some other things, and lost the battle with that in February of 2013, became one of the 22. And since then, his father has been before Congress and numerous other places in an effort to get the government, one, to recognize that was a terrorist act that occurred at Fort Hood, not just a random act of violence, and has been fighting hard for all the victims that were there at Fort Hood on that day in 2009 to get the benefits that they deserve. So we're going to spend some time talking with him, getting to know him a bit more and his story, and encourage you all to listen in and call in with your questions tomorrow night.
Absolutely. That's a great job on there, Proby. I've been following that for a little while, and it just breaks your fucking heart that those people aren't getting what they need.
It does, and when I was doing prep for the Saturday Dysfunctional Veteran Show Saturday night, I was going through all the rant messages on the rant line and everything, and I had one message. It was the longest message I had. It was like over 5 minutes long, and I said, "What is this?" I figured most of it was probably just a bunch of dead air. Somebody just didn't hang up the phone, or was a butt dial or something, and I clicked on the message, and it was him, and he went on for about 5 minutes about all of this, and it broke my heart. It absolutely broke my heart, his story. And I called him right away. And I must have spent about 45 to 50 minutes on the phone with him, just talking to him. And the whole story, I mean, the day he called on Saturday, and I apologize, I'm kind of getting a little choked up myself thinking back to the conversation that I had with him, but he had just come back from the cemetery laying a Christmas wreath on his son's grave. And, no, the story was just heart-wrenching, and what he's gone through, fighting to get the recognition for his son and others that were victims that day is just incredible. And through all of this, he is now fighting cancer himself, and he has not backed down one bit and continues to fight.
That's a brutal story. I can't wait for it. I'll definitely be tuned in. I'll probably call in and harass you, especially about the debate tomorrow. But I'm sure we'll promote it on our page. I'm sure DB Radio will. We'll get the word out to everybody. This is something you need to listen to because it's not just with that. It happens a lot. I mean, all those victims I think they're classified as workplace violence. Am I incorrect?
Everything I've seen is yes.
Okay.
Considered a random act of workplace violence, not considered a terrorist act. The buzzword thrown out that he was radicalized and all of that. And we've heard this with the recent San Bernardino shootings as well. It's never characterized as an actual act of terrorism. It's always, the individual was radicalized or something to that degree. And this doesn't allow the victims then to go in and claim what they should in order to get the benefits that they deserve.
Unbelievable.
Now, Proby, is this the same gentleman that's actually testified before Congress too?
Yes, he's testified before Congress. He's been on numerous television programs, Fox News, MSNBC, CNN. He's been fighting very, very hard over the past couple of years to get the recognition that a lot of the victims deserve and to get the government to recognize that this was an act of terrorism.
And I may be misspeaking, but I want to say that I've actually watched his testimony in the past. So if it's the same person I'm thinking of, it's going to be an incredible interview too.
Yeah, he can speak. He's eloquent. He stays on message. And it's just a powerful story, and there's a lot of emotion behind what he's talking about because it's his son. So I look forward to that interview tomorrow night. I don't want to take up much of your time, guys, but I appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk a little bit about what we got going on tomorrow night. Enjoying the show. Hope you guys are enjoying the new site and everything, and hope you guys have a great rest of the show.
Thanks, Proby.
Appreciate it, Proby.
All right, you guys have a good night.
You too, sir. Well, that should make for an interesting salute report.
Absolutely should.
Yeah. Not that it isn't ever, but I love Proby. And I love his take on things, but this is going to take it to a whole new level for sure. Because I've been following this for a little while too, and oof.
Yeah, that's got to be hard to stomach. I couldn't imagine a father having to deal with that, and yeah.
Yeah, and he's doing it for the right cause. If you remember Miss Sheenan, that crazy lady who was
God, yeah.
camping outside of I told my mom when I was in, if you do that, I will haunt you. If something happens to me, I will haunt you. If you dare do that. That's not how you honor my sacrifice or any of my brothers and sisters. But we got that in, and I want to change gears a little bit. I want to get into some, I guess we'd stay with the serious stuff in the fields, but I want to hear some slam poetry. So what do you say?
All right, and I guess since we are on the topic of serious stuff, this poem's actually quite serious, and on the we talked about this earlier a little bit. The problem of over medicating of veterans. It seems to be more than just a topic, if you will.
I got you.
So anyhow, that's what this poem is about. So all right, I'll go ahead and do this. This is a personal story about hell. This is my anthem of disgust towards the over-medicating of our veterans and the policies in place that perpetuate the problem. This is Farmaco, fuck yourselves. I always wanted to put a smile on her face. I was battling demons in my head space. I know this may come as a surprise to some, doing all I could to see each setting sun. I know what I did just wasn't enough, and the pain was too real, just too real to touch. A losing battle from beginning to end, all that kept me fighting was that she was my friend. Drudging through life as soon to be slaughtered cattle, but things had to change once I heard that death rattle. Had me so drugged up that I wish I'd just died. All that kept me from ending it was her by my side. ZOLOFT. What the fuck did you give to me? Antidepressed? How about I'm not impressed? Fed me so much shit till my life was a mess. So I flushed all my pills, made a pledge to get sober. Now I'm finally alive. Best believe it's not over. See, what happened to me was a near tragedy. But you're killing my friends and I won't let that be. Don't feed me meds, you self-righteous prick. A person's supposed to feel feelings. Feelings don't make me sick. Slightly contorted and down on myself, went to you for assistance. You pulled help from the shelf. You call it healing? I can't feel my feelings. Add more to the concoction while I just keep reeling. You want to help people? Get the fuck out your steeple. How about healing the mind, not creating more sheeple? You use watercolor while you stand in the rain, distributing pills to take away the pain. Under the guise of a saint, godly something you ain't. You're just a faux brushstroke over the faces you paint. Zoloft Abilify, stick a fork in my eye. Percocet, gabapentin, a few more might I mention. Lyrica, clonidine, this is getting obscene. Xanax, Adderall, Ambien, clonazepam, all at the same time, and I'm thinking, goddamn. Depakote, the holy roller. I'm not even bipolar. Lunesta, Concerta, Nucenta, and more. Doc, you're a pimp, and I was your whore. Pharmacotherapy, you said that you'd carry me. You carried me to the grave, and I almost let you bury me. I'm not writing this for me. I'm writing this for we. I'm writing this for the 22 we no longer see. But I must give credit where credit is due. I'm the one that trusted. I trusted in you. I know the Hippocratic Oath, no harm shall you do, and while you kept feeding, I continued to chew. So fuck your degree and your pharmacology. If I didn't quit, my family'd be burying me. So if you think that I'm pissed, well, you're goddamn right. Fed me so much shit I had tremors at night. And all that I got are memories I can't believe, but the hardest pill to swallow was watching my best friend leave. Thank you.
Bravo, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, you hit a lot of people on that one for sure. For sure. That is deep. That was awesome. That's yeah. I don't know what else to say about that. I'm almost for a loss for words. Normally my mind's spinning like 100 miles an hour, and I had no thoughts listening to that, just with the words and just what you were saying and how you delivered them. That was pretty awesome, man.
And yeah, earlier when I was saying, I moved back to the area to get, take care of some personal shit. Like, yeah, that I didn't make up. I didn't make up any, of that poem. That's real life. That went. Looking back on things, I take a lot of the blame. I fell into that trap, if you will, and I never want to go as far as to paint a broad picture that stuff's can't help, but I certainly think that they go too far with it. There are a lot of other, there should be, and that, there are other avenues, to dealing with stuff than unfortunately relying on the shit that your doctors are going to feed to you. It's obscene.
And it snowballs quick too. You're having a side effect. Well, let's prescribe something else for a side effect, and it's like, is there any end in sight? I mean, it's insane.
Well, that's funny. I was talking to my dad about this, and I haven't done this in my life. I've left my ATM card. I just started a new set of meds, and I cut down on a bunch of them. But I've left my ATM card in the ATM machine like 4 times in the last month. I've lost my keys, not lost them, lost them and found them. I've never done this before in my life. And I'm like, and I just started this new thing, these couple new meds, and I'm like, it's got to be this. And then he's like, well, you should call them. And I'm like, I don't know if I really want to, if I should just stop, or if I tell them what's going on. Oh, well, we got this, that'll fix it. And then something else is going to fucking happen. I'll start having anal leakage or something. Like, I mean, they do love to fucking push those pills, man.
I'll tell you right now, the anal leakage is no joke.
Is that from the meds, or is that from the Usarec?
It's actually the Usarec meds.
Oh, well, you're just screwed then, huh?
No, I have to say, like, one of the moments where, for me personally, where things started to actually go in the right direction. I just had one of those moments where, you know what, this shit's not working. And I had a pill party in the toilet, and I had a bunch of them that were capsules, and rather than just straight up just flushing them, I emptied them out one by one. And that's a pain in the ass when you have 90-day supplies of stuff.
Yeah, no, it's I had an epiphany, almost a tragic epiphany, let's put it that way, and yeah, there was only one way to go, and that was up. And I did a bit of the same. Just said enough with this. Like, I'll figure it out another way. And luckily I didn't have to figure it out on my own. There are a lot of good organizations out there that do things holistically. One in particular that I found this summer that really kind of helped me put some things together. As far as not having to go that way, there are other options.
No, absolutely.
In my mind, like, people all through human history have been dealing with this stuff, and the really big push for pharmaceutical answers is really recent. It doesn't make any sense of why it would work, considering.
I think it's a cost measure. Think about what it costs for so like one of the things I take, lorazepam, I get 45 days at a pop. That's nothing compared to, say, 10 hours a month or 5 hours a month with a licensed private psychiatrist.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and that's the tragedy of this whole thing is that, I've seen this quoted, plenty of different places. If you're gonna spend the money to send people to war, you better spend the money to bring them back, and bring them back and take care of them when they're back. And on the topic of lorazepam, that's a cheap benzodiazepine, very cheap medication, and unfortunately, it's a very addictive medication.
Yeah, I was actually shocked when they gave it to me. I didn't think that they would, and they did. And I don't take it every day, but I take it when I need it. But I think it's behind my my memory, my short-term memory loss.
Oh,
yeah. Like, I just do stupid shit I've never done before. Losing my ATM card, fucking losing my keys. leaving my phone at work, like just random stuff. Like it's got to be that. All right. Well, I think we'll go on to the next one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Do a little intro.
Yeah. Let me. Yeah, I've got another one. It's called It's called The Setback. For 14 months. Oh yeah, and the intro is actually part of the beginning of this poem, so I don't really need to do anything but read. So anyhow, The Setback. For 14 months as a member of the 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment, Manchus, the city of Al-Ramadi, Iraq was my home. As a lieutenant in Task Force 19, I served alongside great men and lost some good friends. We took the most dangerous place on the face of the earth and turned it into one of the safest cities in Iraq. Over the past 7.5 years, our administration has allowed Al-Ramadi to fall in the hands of ISIS control, and in the recent press conference called the catastrophe that is Al-Ramadi just a setback. Well, I have something to say about that. This is the setback. Don't call it a setback. Hindsight you lack. One step closer to the next American attack. Over 14 months we turned the page, handed over the keys, best expect some rage. They throw a party, you dispute the truth, capture the ignorance, photos from a kissing booth. You fed the monster, the disease is now bred, could have mentioned years back you were in the same bed. So what will you do, I ask of you, hidden behind the podium in the rhetoric you spew? Your words are pale, your apathy brings pain. Ship us back over and we'll do it again. Because what you've forgotten as you stutter your address, it's your goddamn fault that we're back in this mess. You downplay our efforts, lives lost in that fight. Keep passing the buck, sleep safely at night. Because we know the truth. Ask one of my boys. This isn't Parcheesi, we ain't one of your toys. You fumbled, sidestepped, now it's back in your face. Do something about it, time to level that place. Take care of the people, they only want peace. Like a cancer needs chemo, time to rid this disease. Defend this country, let the soldiers attack. And one last damn thing, this ain't just a setback. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, thank you. Yeah, that was nice. I think that's every OIF veteran's call right there is. I know there's a lot of rage going on because of what's going on with ISIS, and our beloved president pretty much thumbing the nose at the sacrifice of all the brothers and sisters who shed blood in the mud for that fucking shitty little town. And just got to be standing around thinking, what the fuck? Like, why? What the hell are you thinking?
Yeah, and by the way, that poem was, on my own personal behalf as my poetry pseudonym Sierra Tango. So just a post disclaimer, I guess.
Awesome.
Yeah, I remember when Fallujah fell. Actually, you started seeing Iraq vets really express some anger, man. It's my dad's a Vietnam vet. I actually talked to him about it. It's like, how do you reconcile that? Like you watched Saigon fall in '75, It was kind of the same thing. We were like watching Mosul and Fallujah and Ramadi. It like really takes away from it, and it's really hard not to take it personally too. And it's places we lived. We actually just got our Iraqi interpreter. He just came here on like a special visa. He's like a great interpreter and got his whole family here. I was talking to him the other day and he was saying like, it was bad when you guys were there, but it's like much worse now. There's some places in Iraq that are just, under the boot heel of ISIS. It's horrible. Yeah, he's got no love for those guys either at all.
I bet. Is he a Sunni too?
No, I think he's a Shia actually.
Okay.
He lived in Najaf, which I'm pretty sure is it's all Sunni all Shia down there.
Gotcha. Well, I'm glad you guys glad he made it back over here. I mean, he put his life in a tremendous amount of risk to help you guys out.
Oh yeah, I mean that's like one of the reasons why State Department approve these visas because yeah, they're definitely after anybody that worked with Americans. I mean, it's like his whole family was in danger, but yeah, he's in the States now. He got to experience his first snow the other day, which he was all happy about. I was like, yeah, well, give it like a year, man. You might change your tune on the snow, but it's just. He went to the grocery store for the first time the other day. It's like, so is that your first time in an American grocery store? He's like, yeah. So what'd you think? He's like, I must think on this for a while. Like, I mean, it gives you some perspective though, because you see the markets over there, and it's much different than it is here. It's yeah, it's cool. The guy was definitely at pretty great risk. Like when we were there and all the way up till now. It's kind of crazy getting him here though. Like our entire company plus battalion commander, like we all had to write letters and send photos of him working with us, and it's a pretty exhaustive process, but he's here now.
Awesome.
And going back to not the one that you just did, but the one before that, as you were going through it, there's a song that popped in my head, just like a particular little portion by a guy named Sage Francis. But the line that's in there, he's talking about a dream. And the relevant part was this, though. It said, I went to get it tested. The doctor was not so interested in analyzing the message. He had a pill that if he issues out, he gets paid on the side. Got a lifetime supply.
Yeah.
And I don't know, since probably the very first time that I heard that song, my immediate thought and reaction was, yep, he's talking about the VA. Even if doesn't realize he's talking about the VA, he's talking about the VA.
Yep. And it's because, after I got out of the military, I actually spent a year in pharmaceutical sales. It was for diabetes medications, which, I didn't have a personal qualm with, but it's a machine, man. The whole thing is a machine and driven by insurance. There's so many layers to it, but when I went into it, I was like, I want to do something. I want to help people. At least that was the premise in my head. But the more time I spent around it, with which as far as longevity, it wasn't all that long, but I saw enough about it to know that I didn't like it, and to think that like I said, diabetes drugs, one thing, there for the most part there is no alternative, for type 1 diabetes, for instance. But when you start talking about psychotropic medications, the whole 9 yards, and to think about what's driving it, it absolutely churns my stomach.
Oh yeah, because it's profit driven, plain and simple.
Yeah, even some of the studies about this stuff. I mean, it's funded by Pfizer. Like what brilliant insider are they gonna glean from this study that one of Pfizer's drugs is the best effective treatment for whatever they're studying? It's common sense, kind of.
Yeah, and then and then there's no way, especially with all the different medications, for mental health, if you want to call it that. Like, you can't, when they do the clinical trials, there's no way that you can study the thousands and thousands of different variations of combinations that guys are being put on, and do a clinical trial based on, because the clinical trial would never end. So that's really the scary thing about this. 2 medications might work just perfectly for you, given to me, and you're gonna get a whole different creature. And the sad thing is, the person that's having the side effects, you don't even know it. You don't even know it until you look back, if you ever are afforded the opportunity to look back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I totally agree. Put Zoloft out there. I'm like, they put me on that shit, and holy fucking shit snacks. I went manic as shit I was up for 3 days, cleaned my entire house like 3 times.
Yeah,
It just made me batshit crazy, and I was so crazy that I didn't even know it till my father stopped by my apartment, and he's like, "What are you doing? I haven't heard from you in a couple of days." I'm like, "Oh, just cleaning. I had to be at work for like 4 days. I was just talking like, I was on meth or something." He's like, "I don't think this is working out for you. You might want to call your head shrinker." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, I was on that, and that's why I kind of premise that, that's the first medication I mentioned in that poem after all, everything else followed. But that was kind of the predecessor for, and you said the exact manic. I spent 6 years absolutely manic, and I didn't even know it. I was, unfortunately, I put, a beautiful girl through 4 years of that shit, and like I said, I didn't know heads from tails until one day I'm like, I'm done. I am done with everything. Yeah, it's fucking scary.
All right. Did you save the best for last?
Yeah, I think so. And this is let's see, this one is well, here, I've got an angry one, and I've got one that's, well, this other one. It's called "Blood on the Floor." My job over, and I'll let you guys choose. One is called "It's Time," and it's really about, basically about how we're blind to the fact that terrorists are here in this country. And the other one is called "Blood on the Floor," and I was a medical platoon leader running a battalion aid station in Iraq, so you can kind of guess where it goes. It depends on if you want to have your stomach turned a little bit, or if you want to go with, angry about the fact that we're blind to terrorists in the United States.
What do you think, Bro Hammer? Should we do one or the other? Or should we do both?
If we don't do both, I say go with anger because of the relevancy of it right now.
All right, well, let's go with that one. We've got some time, but yeah, let's go with that one.
I vote both. Blood on the Floor is like powerful.
All right, I'll finish. I'll finish up with "Blood on the Floor." I'll do "It's Time" right now.
All right, that works.
Okay. And I actually wrote this the day the attacks happened in Paris because, well, I was pissed off. And then San Bernardino happened afterwards, and I wasn't predicting, obviously not predicting anything that anybody that spent even the tiniest bit of time paying attention to stuff, it was inevitable that San Bernardino was going to happen. I just didn't know it was going to happen that quickly. Anyhow, this is "Its Time." Wake up, ladies and gentlemen. Armageddon is here. Put aside your petty differences. It's time to fight the fear. With the terror in Paris, you may have shed a single tear. Better wake up and cry a river, because they're already here. Planning our demise, they walk around in disguise. It's time we all stop playing dumb. Stop acting like you're surprised. In our backyard, it's our lives they'll discard. We need some balls behind that podium, because my faith has been but charred. I don't care what you want, because what we've got's a fucking war. Do you think ignorance will help when they're kicking in your door? You think it's okay because they're just overseas? This is a cancer in the lymph nodes, a deadly disease. We can't wish them away because they'll do as they please. You can't stop their violence with prayer, so get up off your knees. Want to play the game and say we don't need guns? Better arm yourself and learn how to shoot one. This is the tip of the iceberg. They're not close to done. Might not start on large scale, but they have no plans to fail. They're preying on our discourse. They pray we continue to flail. I'm not a warmonger, but it's time we be stronger. Oh, man, sorry.
No need to apologize.
No.
Definitely impressive.
It's time to be stronger. It's time we're stronger and smarter and tactically aware. Peaceful or not, they'll kill us all the same. They just do not care. I don't want violence in the States. I'm just giving it to you straight. I've seen the hands of evil. They believe this is their fate. Angrily, my blood boils with rage. It's time we put these animals back in their cage. Not with kid gloves like a cat or a dog. Break out the bats. It's time that we flog. This isn't the time to be politically correct. It's time to drop the hammer. It's time to be direct. You say they've been contained. I'm not sure you have a brain. There's no containment of this derangement. It's time we get hell-bent, bend and break shit, reconfigure the rules once and for all, end it. I'm not saying act illegal, but we don't want a sequel. The rules of engagement must be fierce and, above all, most lethal. Violence of action and lethal in a way they'll regret the day that they came out to play. Because, homie, don't play. This is the dawn of a new day. You can take this shit to the bank and mark the words I say. This world as we know it has most certainly changed. We're being picked on and bullied and plagued by the deranged. I too pray for peace, but that won't put my mind at ease. We're dealing with the godless. We're dealing with sleaze. Prayer without action serves to their satisfaction. It's time we stop wishing. It's time we take action. It's time to do the math and neutralize the fraction. It's time we see this as more than just a distraction. Pull your palms apart. Curl your fists together. We can no longer be passive if we wish this gets better. Because we have the might to take the fight to the fight. A couple Hail Marys won't keep us breathing at night. Prayer keeps us strong while we right the wrong. But this is no cartoon. There will be no swan song. Kill, kill, kill with cold blue steel. You may not like these words, but I promise this is real. The factions ISIS and Al-Qaeda are godless, I've no doubt. It's time we kill them all and let God sort them out. That's it.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I liked it before you even finished, apparently.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That little break there. Yeah. You were halfway through and we were still fucking enthralled by it. So you seriously wrote that after Paris, huh?
Yeah, and like we were talking about before, I've had to, for whatever it's worth, I've had to find a different way to displace my anger. Yeah, because anger does me no good. In honesty, if I can't find an outlet, like writing, for instance, it just does me no good.
Yeah, it doesn't serve any purpose. Anger. Actually, yeah. I experienced that just back injury. It put me on gabapentin. I was raged out all the time. It's the most useless emotion on the planet. Yeah. Damaging. So it's good you get it out in something that's I don't know. I've always thought your stuff is really good. It kind of reminds me of some of the more talented hip hop artists like Mos Def or Nas. It just flows well. Put some music behind it, man. Yeah.
It's so I got a little team here in Jamestown. Because I just started doing this, just a few months, basically in May, right after everything, happened when, they're throwing that parade in Ramadi, and I'm like, dude, I gotta do so because, in fact, I got 10 months sober today, on kind of a different topic, but, I figured I gotta do something instead of, drink, and so that's kind of where poetry and writing, all kinds of other things have come into play. And I just started doing this in May, and little group here in Jamestown, they do poetry slams, and they started doing it over a little bit of a year ago. But anyways, the girl that organizes it asked me to be a member of the team, which I thought was pretty cool because I look at them and they've been doing this and acting and all kinds of other things for a couple of years, and I'm like, what am I doing here? But I guess I'm my own worst critic, if you will.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, as long as you don't beat yourself down too much. But he was. Dave brought up music, and DV is Dysfunctional Veteran is pretty affiliated with music group called Redcon One. I don't know if you've ever heard about them.
I think I have. No, you know what? I don't know if I have.
Well, they got a Facebook page, they got a website too as well, and we've done a couple listening parties with them on Dysfunctional Veterans Radio, which we're on right now. You contact those guys because I think he has a great idea. I mean, there's put some music to that, wow. Yeah, I think there's something to that, to be honest with you. I love it. I mean, that's powerful shit, and there's no reason you can't put some music to it. And hell, I'm sure they will collaborate with you on it and everything. They're gonna love it. I'm telling you, because I mean, you can just go to YouTube or whatever and look up Dysfunctional Veterans Redcon 1, and you'll hear the song. They kind of, I think they did it after they met us. I'm not sure. Brohammer would be able to shed more light on that, but it kind of tells everything about us. You know, they call us dysfunctional, pissed off veterans. And slam poetry are very, very interchangeable, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, dude, I'd love to do anything. Like I said, this is just something I had to do to get rid of some shit in my head. But it is something I love to do. To get rid of some shit in my head, but it is something I love.
It's already got a rhythm to it. I mean, yeah. It's got a good rhythm to it, for sure.
All right, what do you think, bro? What do you think, Bro Hammer?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely a path that you should explore.
Yeah, I think so too. They're great guys, very talented, and they eat your shit up in a heartbeat. So maybe after the show, maybe we'll figure out how to get you in contact with them.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. And then you guys just roll, because I'm almost positive. I'm sure Brohammer will say the same thing, that they'll snatch that stuff up and work with you on it.
I'm curious as to the writing process, man. When you're when you're writing, do you read this stuff aloud, like every line, to make sure it has a certain rhythm? Because I mean, it keeps to like a tempo. It's pretty smooth, but I would imagine the writing process it's not so smooth. Like how do you do that?
No, in fact, the writing process is very not smooth. Yeah, it's it's weird. Sometimes it'll start just as a simple like, I don't know. I've woken up some days. I guess for the next one that I'll do, I don't know. I was just having one. Well, no, I'll refer back to the one about everything that happened in Paris, and usually the process it starts with an emotion. That's
right, yeah.
That's kind of the precipice, and then once I latch on to that, well, I don't really have to latch on to it. I should say once it latches on to me, either I'll just think of one thing and just write down maybe just a sentence, and and it usually rhymes, like that last one that I did. I think when I started that poem, actually really at the middle of the poem. My blood boils with rage. Somebody put these animals back in their cage. Like that was the line that started the whole poem, and it really ended up in the middle of it. And so once I get kind of that first line, it kind of takes on a life of its own. I've had ones like that I literally did, at least 90% of the work, in one evening, or maybe even in 1 hour, depending on the situation. And then once I get things down on there, then I start, because I do most of my stuff on my iPhone, just in the notes. Then I start moving things around. It's almost like, a Rubik's Cube, if you will.
Yeah.
Because it definitely doesn't always, although there have been times when, everything just kind of flowed out of my head, and like, I don't, I can't take credit for it. I don't know where it comes from, but sometimes it just, I can almost write it out, and it'll entirely, at least, a good majority, 75% of it will already be written as it, the final product will be as it comes out. And then some of them, I'm just moving stuff around, and then, tempo sticks out in my head, I guess you will. And yeah, it's kind of hard to explain if you can't tell.
No, that's like exactly how a lot of people do fiction too. You start out with like one sentence, and you're like, all right, well, what do I do with this? And then you think of like the window dressing for it. you're describing like moving things around. It's like the exact same process with fiction. You basically start with an emotion, and you're like, all right, so let's get to it, and yeah, it kind of just builds on itself, and you play with it, and it's like something to think about when you're driving and taking a shower and all that. It's like it's kind of consuming, but it's like a good thing though. It's like it's very constructive, and I don't know. We're probably all overthinkers being in the military, so yeah,
Just a scotch.
yeah. I mean, some like we've got like the Veterans PTSD Project. It's affiliated with Military Experience in the Arts, and we're kind of the director there is like, kind of trying to figure out like, okay, well, PTSD has got this really terrible connotation to it, but what are some of the good things about it? And I'm like, I don't know. Overthinking can be bad, but it can be good too, especially when you're doing something like writing a story or a poem, or trying to figure out a course of action for something in your life. You're gonna hit every element of it, but that's like creative expression is one of the things it's definitely pretty useful for. Not only that, but it got some emotional intelligence with that stuff too. Kind of forced to be in touch with that stuff more than most people. You don't take it for granted.
Oh no, you're absolutely right, and like and looking back, referring to the previous topic, the medications, like for years this shit was just numbed out with me, like and now today, like once I dropped everything off the face of the planet, like, or down the toilet, if you will, like I had to figure out a way, and thank God through through Facebook, through different organizations, like pointed me in the right direction as far as how to channel this stuff, because it just what I was doing before just was not working.
It's good, man. Trial and error. Glad you found it, because a lot of people enjoy your poetry for sure.
Yeah, you definitely got a few new fans tonight, without question.
Yeah. Hey, your page is named Sierra Tango, right?
Yeah.
Social media, cool.
Yep. Yeah, go ahead, plug it fully. Tell everyone about it.
Yeah, I mean that's really like, yeah. I just I've got just a poetry page, and really like I just post the stuff that I write on there, and I think because I don't have a very big description about it, I think I just put on there, from love and war and everything in between. That's kind of it, because that's pretty much what I write about.
Well, that covers a pretty it covers a pretty wide area, so that's
the veteran's life right there. So yeah. And sometimes the war at home is just as bad. Wives dealing with kids, reintegrating, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Gotta learn from scratch.
Yeah.
And now you also have a plug on the page. So, if listeners want to go ahead and just find it directly, they can go to our page, and the link is up there now.
Can you put the military experience in arts link on there as well, Brohammer?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we're getting close, so we might as well we saved the best for last for our wonderful listening audience and those in the chat room. So whenever you're ready.
All right. Yeah, and so like I said, that I was a medical platoon leader, and executive officer, but when I was in Iraq, and being a medical platoon leader, and honestly, like before going over there, I didn't really, I guess, get the gravity of really what we'd be seeing there, and even coming back, honestly, like, I guess my internal description of, post-traumatic stress, or how you get it or whatever, like, honestly, I thought that you had to get shot at, you had to go around, that you had to be doing, the door kicking kind of stuff, and you know, and I guess that was why for a long time, like it just didn't register with me that I could have it. So anyhow, long story short, this is really about, you know, what it's like to be in a medical platoon, you know, in the battalion aid station, you know, when the bad shit's going on. And there's my dog barking. I guess she likes this one. All right. This is blood on the floor. There's blood. There's blood on the floor, and I can't take it much more. Who knows what I'll see when I walk through that door? Because there's blood. There's blood on the floor. The screaming and crying, I watch my friends dying, sights I can't erase. Where the fuck is his face? He's losing blood. His legs are gone. Till his last breath, it won't be too long. I want to let go. This Rocky Horror Picture Show. Everything around me's dead. When will something grow? You think it's pretend, but the movie never ends. The last time we spoke, I said, be safe, my friend. I always knew this would happen and there'd be nothing I could do. But why in the fuck did it happen to you? Red stains the concrete. I can feel my heartbeat. I pray for their safety. IEDs line the street. Line after line, it replays through my mind. They're not coming home. Nothing's gonna be fine. Bodies in a black bag, sopping blood on this rag, sorting parts my mind contorts. When will this all stop? A piece of you, a piece of him. Where does it end? Where does he end and you begin? Keep moving piles one to another. I've lost my friend. I've lost my brother. They're not coming back. Or where do they go? Somebody turn off this damn picture show. I want to go back. I don't want to know. My vision turns red. My blood's running cold. Life isn't so green on this side of the road. Shuttle in on a stretcher. How are you still alive? I know you're a fighter, last gasp to survive. I know you won't make it, so I sit here and fake it. I pray you go quickly because I just can't take it. You're missing your legs, one arm's been blown off, gurgling blood as you choke and you cough. Chunks of gray matter, part of your skull is gone. Please just stop fighting. This is taking so long. I still hear those screams, instant panic attack. If I can't breathe here, then I want to go back. Finish the job that we left incomplete. Take every black flag off those Aramati streets. My body is here, but my mind is still gone. If it doesn't come back, then that's where I belong. I've got so much pain that I'd like to share. I'm not quite the same, so buyer beware. Because something inside me will always be dead. I can't get these visions out of my goddamn head. The more that I fight, the less that I win. Wish they just end somehow, but where to begin? There's so much blood. There's blood on the floor. And I can't take it much more. Who knows what I'll see when I walk through that door, because I don't want to see their blood anymore. Thank you.
Outstanding.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, not easy.
No, it's not. But it's wow. It's powerful. It's true. Art is supposed to inspire emotions in conversation, and that did that and then some. So, congrats to you, sir.
Thank you. And just to give a plug to to military experience in the arts, and just from it, I guess if you need to get stuff off your chest, like I'm learning that writing is one of the healthiest ways to do it. Like it just does it. There's certain things you can't just talk to anybody about. Like, certain people will hear that and be like, well, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? And like, in a medium like military experience in the arts, like, it's helped me. Let's just put it that way. It's helped me a lot, to just get that, find out that there is another way. There is a healthier way to do things, aside from, drinking yourself to sleep every night. That's what I did for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it serves like a really valuable purpose because, you know, people aren't going to talk to their family about this, but they can read something like that or hear it and think like, you know, my loved one must have experienced something kind of like this, and got these guys opening up with these really like, powerful stories, and people can relate to that stuff. And hey, if a guy doesn't want to talk about what he saw or did over there, he can say, "Hey, this story right here, it's kind of similar to what I experienced." So he doesn't have to have that conversation, but there can still be kind of a common frame of reference for them to wrap around like what's going on now, you know? Like it's kind of cliche, but you hear a car backfiring and kind of jump. It's like you read a story about a firefight and what it feels like to hear that stuff, and you know, like that epiphany that oh, this is coming for me. Like this is serious. This is bad. And yeah, like it's there. That's the point of it's the point of writing and doing this stuff.
And you know, it's a little known fact, but I've actually been writing pretty regularly since about 14 or 15, and I've kept some of that stuff just for a matter of perspective, and sometimes it's just good to go back and, you know, say, I wrote this at this time period. This is where I was at the time. Look at where I've come from or come to since then, you know. So you might write something and think it's horrible at the time, or just know that you were in a bad place at the time, or whatever else. But you can go back to it later on, and it will actually be a source of inspiration and strength. And you know, when you were talking about your writing process, I was kind of curious on yours. For me, it's really feast or famine, and I will basically go out and have just all the time where I call it gathering life experience or material.
Mm-hmm.
And then every once in a while, it's just like that spigot turns on, and it's time to sit down and write. And sometimes, you know, I get one small little piece out of it. Sometimes I might get just an incredible amount. It can be pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't mean to jump in, cut you guys off. Just want to do a couple promos for the other shows on dbradio1.com. We've got the Salute Report tomorrow at 1900 to 2100, which we had Proby on earlier, discussing that horrible situation with the Fort Hood shooting victim and his father's fight for his rights and everybody else there. And as well, we've, of course, got the main show, the DV Radio show start at 2100 on Saturday evening to 2300 and beyond, depending on how Proby and Chief and the rest of the crew feel. But I had to get that out. I had to plug those guys because they always plug us. So the last 3.5 minutes or so, you guys want to do any shout outs, any plugs, any future plans? Now's the time.
I'd just say take a gander on our website. There's a lot of really good material on there. We got a couple of guys nominated for the Pushcart Award. It's like a literary award, and a story by Kyle Larkin called Minarets is like, I mean, it's a very accurate rendition of just the morning in Iraq. And another one is the other Pushcart nominee was Jared Alexander. He's the author of The Life of Ling Ling. Pretty interesting novella about some Marines in Iraq. But his story, Our Next Stop in Modern War, was also nominated for Pushcart Award. And it's kind of about how us grunts took pictures of basically everything. And yeah, it's
I know.
Yeah, I mean everything. He's a history buff, so he kind of talks about the history of capturing war and what it means to go to war in a digital age now. But it's
What's the website again?
It's militaryexperience.org.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of good stuff on there. And if you're not feeling like reading anything, just go to the publications and got the virtual art gallery there. It's like sculpture and watercolor and charcoal, really good stuff. Take a gander. There's some very talented people that have come through our organization for sure.
All right. Anything else before we get out of here?
Hey, thanks for having us, man.
No.
Work.
Yeah, I got one. If this is cool, there's an organization that I got involved with this summer. They as far as offering holistic options for recovery from post traumatic stress and self medicating. Is it cool if I talk about them for about 20 seconds?
Yeah, 20 seconds.
All right, it's an organization. It's called Sparta, and it's a Spiritual Process and Resiliency Trauma Association. They use holistic and alternative methods to provide an alternative to suicide and self-destructive behaviors for returning warriors struggling with post-traumatic stress. Sparta transforms warriors' experiences into post-traumatic growth, and this organization, I'll tell you, is like, hands down, what they do is some legit stuff. It's just one of the things you have to check out what they do. But anyways, the website for it is www.thespartaproject.com. And the guy that one of the head providers there is named Dr. Michael Solonius, and like this guy is an absolute amazingly smart dude, a spiritual giant, and just what they do is trying to change the way of recovery from things these days, because the current medical model just isn't working.
I totally agree, and thanks for plugging that. And thank you both, you guys, from the bottom of my heart, and every other veteran and every other listener we have. What you guys share with us tonight is awesome, and we're going to promote you. And I'm more than sure that we're going to have you back on in the near future. So,
awesome, guys, thank you so much. Like this has been great.
Yeah, thanks, man. Good stuff.
Hey, no worries, man. I am now a slam poetry fan as well as a lot of other veterans, because I think a lot of us shied away from that. But now, you put that in there. We're going to hop off here in just a second. But if you guys want to join back up with us for after show, we can definitely try and work on get you hooked up with Redcon 1 and whatnot. And both of you hooked up with Redcon 1, I think you both would benefit from that. So hopefully Josh is ready to exit us out. But until he is, we should keep talking. So anything on your boys' minds, please feel free to speak your piece.
Well, my Kansas City Chiefs have won 7 straight.
Screw your Chiefs. Jamal Charles, first round pick in my fantasy team, and Skadoosh, dude's done for the year.
I know, and I'll tell you, when that happened, I'm like, they're done. Like I literally gave up on the season then, and lo and behold, they turned it around.
So I normally have really bad luck. I don't know why. I'm just cursed with it. And when I tried to use my bad luck to my advantage, it failed me this year. I thought if I took Tom Brady in fantasy football, he'd surely break a leg. I'm still waiting. So that's what I got on the football side.
Only thing is breaking his records.
I'll tell you how bad I am at it. The team I drafted personally was out of the playoffs after like 6 weeks. The team the other team I was with, a bunch of Marine friends of mine, missed the draft date. Computer drafted my whole team.
Oh, auto draft.
I'm in the semifinals. So that's how much I fucking know about fantasy fucking football.
Wow.
Nice.
I just like Lunchbox sitting in silence with no mic right now. Kind of ironic.
And his last breath spoke, he had seen all to be seen. A life once full, now an
Right, tell me
empty
something.
vase, with the blossoms on his head.
Yeah, stop it.
Walk away, me boy, walk away, me boy, and by morning we'll be free. Wipe that golden tear from your mother, dear, and raise what's left of the flag for me. Then the rosary beads, counting 1, 2, 3, fell apart as they hit the floor. In our garb of black, we must pay respect to the colour we're born to mourn. Walk away, me boys, walk away, me boys, by morning we'll be free. Wipe the golden tear from your mother, dear, raise what's left of the flag for me. Staggeroo, an angry fist start a wound filled with hatred and remorse. Where I pick and scratch till the blood it matched the silent rage now that fills my lungs. For there are many ways to kill a man, they say, with bayonet and a sword. But son, a bullet fired from a shapeless ghost to put the shell of a Thompson gun. Walk away, me boys, walk away, me boys, and by morning we'll be free. Golden tear from your mother, dear, raise what's left of the flag for me. From the east out to the western shore, where many men and many more will fall. Wipe that golden tear from your mother, dear, and raise what's left of the flag for me.